Yes, we are back. We are live. We are back for another match view for Euro 2024. And now things start to get just a little bit interesting indeed. Because what we've got today is a duel. Yes, two match views simultaneously, side by side. We've got Switzerland versus Germany. We've got Scotland versus Hungary. The final games in Group A of Euro 2024. And again, things get interesting because they kick off at the same time, and there are still quite a few different permutations for what can happen. We know Germany, they're through. They're going to top the group. But what about the rest of the group? What about Switzerland? What about Scotland? What about Hungary? All of them could still go through. Two of them could still go through this evening. One of them is going to definitely be eliminated. But who is it going to be? Well, we're going to be covering it all, as I mentioned, simultaneously, side by side. We're going to have different timers. We're going to have different scores. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll be able to see, hopefully, if things work, in real time, what the table is saying. And that's going to be the case for all of the final group stage games here at Euro 2024. So I'm very excited about that. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You know what to do. Now, again, whether or not this actually works this evening, we shall see if it works. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have the actual live up-to-date feed of the Scotland game in front of me. And to the next of it, I'm also going to have the Switzerland-Germany game on the iPlayer. So there might be a difference in that one of like, what, 30 seconds perhaps? But that's where the timer comes in handy, because you'll be able to sync up. Using the timer, you'll be able to be like, right, that's the time for this one. I can stop, I can pause, I can fast forward, I can do all that fun stuff. So yes, big up to everyone. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your predictions. Let me know what the weather's like where you are as well, because, my goodness me, it's been a bit warm here in the UK today. It's going to be quite warm next week too, which you might be able to hear it or not, just off camera. I've got the fan going. If it's annoying, sort of tough, really, because it's it's really, really hot. And I don't do the heat very well, which I know is another conversation. Isn't it, about the heat? It's hotter where I am. Yes, I agree with you. It probably is. And if I would go there, I would melt into a puddle of just nothingness. There'd be this. People go, "What's that?" on the side of the road. You go, "That's Owen. That's Owen. What happened?" Got too hot for him. He just he just turned into that kind of sort of blob that's over there, that kind of pool of something, of eyes and ears and hair and all that kind of stuff. That's Owen over there. You go, oh, right, yeah. I used to watch him on United View. Yeah, wow, yeah, obviously, yeah. What happened? Well, he said don't go outside, you know what I mean? Just don't. So, yes, indeed. Let me know what the weather is like for you, and make sure, obviously, stay safe, because I'm sure in some places it's really hot at the moment. So stay safe, stay hydrated. Make sure you put your sunscreen on. You put your UV advises, wear UV, yeah? Or protect from UV. You know, you put that on and make sure you're protected, yeah? Very dangerous, yeah? Very dangerous. But yes, tangents are tangenting already, aren't they? What people saying here in the chat at the moment. Simon says, which game will you pay more attention to? Probably the Scotland one, I think. But again, they're going to be right in front of me. So it's not as if I'm going to be like really not paying attention. They're going to be right in front of me, and we'll keep you as up to date as possible at the same time, which is, I really like this sort of part of the group stage. It is quite weird, isn't it, with international tournaments? The first game's quite cagey, not the person, Cagey. It's a bit kind of, you don't really want to lose, you don't really know what's going to happen. Then once you get to this third game, as we saw at the World Cup in Qatar, all sorts can happen. All sorts can happen. The team that starts off the day fourth can end up topping the group. They can go through. They can end up winning the whole thing. Anything is possible, which is the fun involved in all of this, isn't it? Luis says it's been super hot here in the States. I know that I'm probably in the minority on this one, but I like winter. I do like winter months. I like the cold. I like wrapping up against the cold. The heat. Well, do you know what it is, actually? I'll sort of backtrack on that a little bit. I like the summer in the sense of, it's a nice day and you go outside, clear blue sky, and you go, I'll tell you what, it's a lovely day today. And you can maybe go out for a walk, or you're doing something, or you're with your friends, or you're with your family, have a barbecue in the garden, that kind of stuff. That you can't beat that. That is great, isn't it? That is fantastic. It's the heat, though, isn't it? That's the problem. It's the heat. If you can get to that point where you've got a nice on those days, if you've got just a nice, not too much, just a nice breeze, you go, that's lovely. I'm enjoying that quite a lot. But it's a kind of stifling heat, the humidity. That's not the nice one, is it? Luis also says Germany and Scotland for the win. Matt says it's warm and sunny in Yorkshire. Greg says, good evening from North Carolina. It's 36 degrees here. Peter says it's 94 here in Atlanta. That's 34 for everyone else that uses the normal system. Yeah, it's and then Louis says, look, I love the winter/fall. Yeah, I agree. That's my kind of thing. I do love the winter. I do. So like I said, it's not necessarily the weather, it's the heat. I'm not good in the heat. But hey, can't complain too much, isn't it? Usually when it's the summer and it's raining, it is a bit of a oh, that's nice, isn't it? I thought it was meant to be summer, and it's also nice when the weather's nice and the football's on. Hey, you can't beat that too, can you? That makes you really enjoy a summer competition, isn't it? I've seen a lot of people talking about that. I've seen a lot of people talking about, as much as they did enjoy the Qatar World Cup and was surprised how much actually they enjoyed it. You know, being in the winter didn't really take away from the fact that it was a lot of football and it was really enjoyable and some of the matches were fantastic and what have you. You kind of do sort of forget, don't you, about the summer experience of an international tournament. I suppose as well, because when the last Euros was happening, of course, one, it was delayed a year because of the pandemic, and then we were sort of coming out of it, weren't we? And it was only here in the UK anyway, towards the end of the tournament where, you know, it was capacity crowds happening again, wasn't it? All that kind of stuff was happening. So this is the first time since the 2018 World Cup, really, that there's been this summer international tournament with no restrictions. So it's been quite a while coming, really, hasn't it? I suppose, which is why people are sort of realizing, oh yeah, I really enjoy all this. I really like all of the getting together and what have you. Yes. But in the game for Scotland versus Hungary, the teams were in the tunnel right now. I've got both my screens up in front of me, so I can try and anyway give you as best of an update as I possibly can on both games. I feel like I'm in Gillette Soccer Special or something like that, taking a look at everything that's going on. There you go, get that there and get that there. Look at that, prepared. What else am I going to say? Oh, yes, team news. That's what you also want to know. Team news. Beginning in the Switzerland-Germany game, you've got Jan Sommer in goal. You've got a back three, the familiar back three, a Fabian Schär, a Kanji, Ricardo Rodriguez. In front of them, you've got Widmer, Freuler, Granit Xhaka, Abisha. In front of them, you've got Ryder and Doy and Mbolo up front. Up front. For Germany, still a very strong German side. Not many changes. I don't think any changes, actually. Manuel Neuer, you've got Mittelstadt, Tah, Rudiger, Kimmich. You've got Toni Kroos, Andrich. In front of them, the front three before the striker, really, I think that's probably impressed the most in this tournament. Maybe bar Portugal, I suppose. Portugal's, Spain's. Spain. The two most impressive teams, I think unanimously people would say, is Germany and Spain thus far, isn't it? They're the two most impressive teams. But in the German front four is Florian Wirtz, Gundogan, Musiala and Kai Havertz. As far as the lineups for the Scotland game, in goal, Angus Gunn, who was much more impressive in the second game for Scotland, made some big saves. Hendry, Hanley and McKenna is a back three. Then you've got Ralston, Gilmore, McGregor and Robertson. Scott McTominay in the 10 role. Hopefully he's not set pieces. Che Adams and John McGinn in front of them. For Hungary, you've got the likes of Galassi, Dardai, Orban, Botka, Kirkes, who Manchester United have been linked with, Styles, Schaefer, Boller, Szoboszlai, Salai, and Varga. Yes, as I mentioned, whilst I've got both games in front of me, Scotland will probably, I'll have the sound on for Scotland anyway, put it that way, which probably says a lot. The national anthems are being sung as we speak right now, beginning with Hungary. On my screen when it comes to the other game, the players coming out onto the pitch. As I mentioned, you'll be able to see who's where when it comes to the timers and all that fun stuff too. So I'm doing my best to make sure we're all up to date involved in all of this. This is the first time actually on United View that I can recall that we've done two simultaneous match views or 2 simultaneous games. I mean, in the past, we've never really had to do that because, of course, it's just really Man United games. But you never know. Sometimes when it comes to maybe, hopefully, in the future, if Manchester United are competing for trophies, Premier League, so it comes down to the final day, you'll need to know 2 scores at the same time. Perhaps that will be the case at some point. And get ready, because I'm telling you now, Fleck, okay? The Flower of Scotland, it's going to be a loud one, this. Listen to that! It's a strong national anthem, isn't it? That is loud, isn't it? Ho, 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 ho. And it all comes down to this, doesn't it? All down to this. Now, hopefully, that table there that I'm pointing to, my hand's getting cut off, that should update itself as we go through this evening. So if it doesn't, we'll make sure that it does. But you should get a gist of where things are going when it comes to all of the table permutations. Get your predictions in the chat too. The Tartan army is loud. They are ready. And so am I. But that was very loud, wasn't it? Very loud from Scotland. From Scotland! Will they advance to the last 16? Is it the last 16 or is it the round of 16? What's the official title for it? But there is, again, we know one team that's definitely through. We know Germany's through. But as far as everyone else could go through this evening. I mean, some of them, they'll have to just wait, again, until other teams play, particularly the team that's in 3rd place, of course. But, of course, Kieran Tierney is out of the tournament after his injury. Scott McTominay, is he going to get his goal? Of course he is. Of course he is! It's Scott McTominay, damn it! As Robertson and Szoboszlai are there. To my... in the other game on the screen, I've got Switzerland versus Germany. They're just going through the team news. This is good, isn't it, actually? Got all of the games in front of me. Got all of the info. I feel, again, it's just... I mean, you go through all of this time qualifying, don't you? And you only play 3 games. It's not all that much, is it? You only play 3 games, and it all leads to this. All leads to this. Can you make history? Can you surpass expectations? Can you get into the knockout stage and do something special? There he is. Mickey T. Got James McFadden on commentary once again. I don't know who's on commentary for the other game. I haven't got that sound on. Just going through the team news for Germany as well. As I mentioned, Neuer in goal. Same back four as throughout the whole tournament. I'm surprised that Germany didn't rotate a little bit. I thought they might. And in the Scotland game, we're getting the countdown. Slick says Steve Bauer. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the Scotland game is off. Or is it not? We're doing it again. Oh, I bloody hate it when they do that. It's not off. Right, the Scotland game is now off. And I'm just waiting for the Germany game off to come off. And that game is off as well. One of my biggest worries was about, am I going to make sure I get this right? And are they going to be starting off at the same time and all that kind of stuff? And then they screw it up. Red Devil says Royal Rumble countdown. I know. Look at this. I don't know which team to look at. Scotland passing it around from the back. Hendry. Ball to nowhere. McGinn. McKenna. Robertson. Sometimes you just want to just settle a little bit, don't you? Just want to just settle a little bit. Not get too carried away. Billy Gilmore, of course, starting once again for Scotland. He needed to play against Switzerland, didn't he? Speaking of which, there's a good pass towards Che Adams. McGinn. Oh, good turn. And I tell you what, he's held back there. I think Germany just nearly had a chance in their game too. And it did update. Look at that. The table did update too. Oh. Not things working. What a miracle. This isn't United View. Things working. You taking the piss? Free kick to Scotland. Ball in by Gilmore. McKenna. Oh, it's Hanley actually. And that's a foul by Hanley in the end. In the Germany game, it's a corner to Tony Cruz. Cruz takes the corner. Oh, it's a header. Oh, well held. And now Hungary playing it out from the back a bit. Galacci puts it up the pitch, flicked on. That's headed though. So Bosley, of course, the danger man. The expectation on him. Is he the youngest captain ever in the history of the Euros? I think he is. Got Steve Clark wearing a jumper in this kind of weather. You madman. Is that woolen? My word. That is shocking. And there's Mike Trout, Marco Rossi. Corner to Switzerland in their game. That goes out for a throw-in. I tell you what, if Scotland could have planned it, this is the perfect way for them, really. They were expected to lose against Germany. I mean, I think in general, when it comes to that, I think when it comes to the loss against Germany, people expected them to lose. Is what it is, isn't it? But it was the performance against Germany. Then against Switzerland, got the point. They may be a bit frustrated they couldn't hold on. But if you'd have said to them before the tournament, look, you play Hungary in your last game, win, you're through. They'd have been like, thank you very much. Steffi says you were behind for the German game. Yeah, I did mention that earlier on. Obviously, the Scotland game is the live feed. The Germany game is on the iPlayer, hence the timers. So if you do want to sync up for whichever game you are watching, you can use the timers to sync up for you. That's the reason why. And also, because people always mention this when it comes to YouTube, as is always the case with live sports or streaming. There's always a delay with when it goes through YouTube. There's always a delay with that kind of stuff. It's always annoying, isn't it? But we have it on the settings that's the least amount of delay possible, basically. K-Flow says, "Owen pulling a KG." Well, you could have, you know, with sometimes when I do the games of KG, when I do the games of KG on the match views, he'll sometimes say that to me. He'll go, "Can we watch it? You know, can we have the delay or whatever?" And I'll be like, "No, no, we can't. Not happening." Here's McGregor. SOD says, "Owen, call YouTube, tell him to apologise." There's 3 settings. There's normal latency, there's low latency, and there's ultra low, which is the setting that we're always on. But it just means that, yeah, there's always a delay of like, I know, sometimes 10 seconds, 15 seconds, sometimes 30. You can't really do that much about it, which is a bit annoying. But that's why the time is so important, because you can pick the time and you can sync up and then you can know all that kind of stuff. Now, Robertson standing over a free kick for Scotland. Ball in, headed away. Here's Robertson again. Ralston. Oh, it nearly went to Che Adams there. Nearly fouled him. But here comes Hungary on the counter-attack. Robertson does well. But they still, look at this. That's a good ball actually by Styles. He takes a shot. Oh, Gunn. Oof. I mean, in the first game, as I mentioned, he was dodgy, wasn't he? First game, Gunn was dodgy, and I wasn't certain about him. Second game, he was much better. He made some really good saves. But there, I mean, I don't know about his his technique there. He kind of just sort of shuffles it. I don't know if that will give him more confidence or less. I'm not too sure. McGinn. But this game between Scotland and Hungary is going to be tight. Well, that's a poor pass in the Germany game. Gets away with one. Nearly passed it straight to the Swiss forward. Robertson. Gilmore. Is he going to take a shot? No. Tries to play a pass. Scotland still have it though. Hendry. And probably Scotland are going to have more of the ball than they had in either of the first 2 games too. But who would you guys say has been the most impressive team of the tournament thus far? I mean, we're now into the 3rd round of games. So we've seen every team played twice. If you had to give me your favourite at the moment, or maybe the 2 favourites perhaps, or your updated prediction, let me know in the chat. I mean, if I had to probably pick 2 teams that impressed me the most, it would be Germany and Spain. Really impressed by Spain in the second game. Not so much in the first one, I wasn't too certain. But the second game, their 2 wingers, Williams and Yamal, and also their midfield 3, very impressed by them. Germany, I think obviously they got a really exciting, again, front 3 behind Kai Havertz in Gundogan, Wirtz, and Musiala, and I think that with the coach that they've got, puts them in a really good position. And then look, Portugal, it's an interesting one because they were my sort of dark horse. Well, not my dark horse pick. They were my pick to go all the way earlier on. First game, was not impressed by them at all. Second game, which I did yesterday, they were better, although it was a weird one, wasn't it, that Turkey game yesterday? Because it just kind of felt like that, Turkey weren't horrible, but they had a lot that went against them by their own. It was their own fault, but they felt like they had but I think they looked better, Portugal, with Paulinho in midfield. They looked a lot more balanced, switching to a back four. So that's a bit more what I expected from them. Peter saying Austria dark horse. I think it's probably fair. I think that's very fair. And many people have pointed that out when they played France in that first game, didn't they? Sort of going like, these guys are good. Teams don't want to face them, no doubt about that. Look at that referee. Look, he's probably reading the riot act as Scottish players. Owen, would you take McGinn? One of Cage's reckless delegates said they would. No, I wouldn't. Although I think he's perfect where he is. I think he's a good player. I think he works for Villa, works hard. I think he's perfect for Unai Emery. But I mean, here's a chance for Germany, blocked. And it's one thing to say, isn't it? I suppose playing for Villa in a good season, whether or not they'll replicate that next season remains to be seen. But at Manchester United, maybe not so much. So to answer your question, no. Ball forward by Styles for Hungary, as claimed by Gunn. Imran says, people saying Leao is better than Rashford. What are they smoking? Do you know what it is? I think they're quite similar. I think Rafael Leao has got the same criticism of Marcus Rashford this season. It's the same one you can give Rafael Leao, which is that they got no end product at all. Ball into the box for Germany. Kai Havertz, that's blocked. Goes down. Referee waves it off. No penalty. Yeah, I think Leao. But what I do rate about Leao is the ability to beat a player, and I do think he looks for his teammates quite often, which I think is a positive for him, which sometimes Rashford doesn't. I think Leao does actively try and find his teammate, but both of them, the big argument is saying that they got no kind of end product. Leao has been booked for diving. He misses the third game because he's dived twice. Yeah, he had a good, okay stats this season, particularly with assists. I think he got a similar amount of goals and assists this season. So it's no doubt he's a good player. But I do think maybe he has been a victim of being overhyped a little bit. And I think that being overhyped stems from people maybe that don't watch him that often. We have a thing, don't we, as fans, and maybe it's a bit different if you're from Italy or you're and you watch him every single week, or you're a Milan fan, or you're a Portuguese person, so you watch him play for his country often. But I think us in the nearly goes through. Manuel Neuer sweeps that one up. I think we have a thing, don't we, where we just see players maybe when they play in the Champions League, or maybe not even that, but we just see them on social media in comps and we go, they're great. And you go, well, do you watch them every week? And the answer is, well, no, actually, no. And then when they do come to the Premier League and you watch them, you go, oh, actually, maybe they're not as good as I thought they were, or maybe they're actually quite similar to this player that I watch every single week. Sometimes the worst thing for a player is the fact that the sample size is really big. Because we see these players. And I think that's why sometimes when teams get linked to other Premier League players, people kind of roll their eyes at it because you see them. You see them every single week, don't you? And you go, oh, I know more about this player, so I know he's good or I know he's bad. Whereas maybe some players from other clubs, you don't see them as often. So you go, oh, I think they're good. From what I've seen, they're good. But I think, for instance, one of the differences you would say with Leao and Rashford, even though how similar they are, I think you'd say, well, the positive with Leao is that here's Szoboszlai with a free kick, by the way. Gunn will claim that. With Leao, I think he looks, like I said, for his teammate, or he looks for the striker more often. I think that's a big positive for him. Rashford, you would say, needs to do that way more. But on the opposite of that, you would say the positive with Rashford is that maybe he's a bit more of a goal threat. He's a bit more of a goal threat in that regard. And he's a bit more direct, shall we say. But I would say there's a huge amount in it, really. But, as many people will point out, I don't know, has Rafael Leao had a season where he scored as many goals as Marcus Rashford? Maybe not. But is Marcus Rashford as consistent as Rafael Leao every single season? We can have those kind of debates until the end of the tournament, can't we? And certainly, what happens also with these kind of tournaments, is this is not an appropriate sample size either. We must also know that too. This is not an appropriate sample size because we've seen many a player, not just Man United players, but many player throughout footballing history have fantastic tournaments at international level, whether it's a World Cup, European Championship, Copa America, whatever. And then when you see him play every single week, you go, right, now I know the kind of player, how good you actually are. So you have to be very, very aware of getting kind of duped a little bit. Hanley for Scotland in the Switzerland game against Germany. Still 0-0 as you can see. Germany a bit of possession, but just cut out. Granit Xhaka's on the ball. And that's a throw into Hungary. There we go, ball across, goal. Oh, is that gonna... Oh, it's blocked. Shoots. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. In the Germany game, there's been a goal. And what is Jan Sommer doing? What a mistake that is. He won't want to see it again. It's a poor one. I didn't think there was that much on the shot, really. I mean, we'll have another look at it. But Jan Sommer, of course, top goalkeeper. He's played for Mönchengladbach. He's played for Bayern Munich. He plays now for Inter Milan. I think he'll want to see that back. But the first goal of the evening, when it comes to Group A, goes to Bayern Munich. Now, Bayern Munich goes to Germany. Now, they want a foul. They're saying that, I think, Musiala fouled the Swiss defender in the box. And it does look like, to be fair, it does look like a foul in the box. Takes the shot. It's a stinker. I mean, it's a proper stinker from Jan Sommer. Bounces in front of him, but he gets that all wrong. The spirit of Andre Onana. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Not good. Now, there is a goal check. Let me actually turn my audio up on this. I'll have a look. He's been sent over to the screen. And it does look like it is a foul by Musiala on Habisha. I mean, they're trying to suggest, was there contact? If the referee's been sent over, then that would maybe suggest it's going to get ruled out, no? It does look like it's a foul. But, I mean, it gets up. So I suppose it's what happens afterwards. No goal, ruled out. So it's not our first goal of the evening. We thought we had our first goal, but not the case. It's the right decision. It is a foul. It is a foul. Referee, they get that decision right in the end. And I tell you what, Jan Sommer is blushes would be spared because from a goalkeeping point of view, again, that was a stinker. That was really, really poor. But again, we thought we had a goal. We did not. So as things stand, still 0-0. Julian Nagelsmann prowls the touchline. There was a foul on McTominay in the Scotland game. Rashid says, where's KG? Well, KG's ill at the moment. I don't know how his flu is going. If you watched the Trinity on Friday, you saw that he was under the weather. So hopefully he's recovering. Just see this one play out from the Scotland game. Billy Gilmore's got the ball. He's going to pass it back. They're going to try and maybe put the ball in the box. No, goes all the way back. Harry's been a member for 15 months. Says, are we talking just this season, 23-24? Because if we're talking about both being on form, give me Rashi any day of the week, twice on Sundays. No, I mean, this was kind of the argument, wasn't it? That was on. We had, was it Friday with Flex and myself on the transfer view talking about, you know, if they're at their best, who's better, Gordon or Rashford? And you would go, well, if they're at their best, Marcus Rashford is better than Anthony Gordon. The problem is heading into a major international tournament. Gordon's had a better season than Marcus Rashford, so that's put pressures on. But then at the same time, Marcus Rashford has done more for England than Anthony Gordon has. If they're both at their best, Marcus Rashford's better than Anthony Gordon. Problem is that with Marcus Rashford, definitely at the moment, and I suppose across his career, you have no idea what version of him you're going to get, do you? I mean, this last 2 seasons ago, well, the last 3 seasons, you've had one very good season sandwiched between 2 really bad seasons for Marcus Rashford, haven't you? And yeah, it's just again, you don't know what you're going to get with him. McGinn goes to ground. That's a free kick to Scotland. I mean, my thing with him, with Rashford too, would just be, I'm not even looking for that, like, his best every single week. I'm just looking for him to raise his baseline. If he just raised his baseline like 50%, then it would be much more palatable. But it's the drop-off, you know, with him. Because there were points last season where you might as well have not had him on the pitch. And I do think there's a lot of stuff off the pitch that I think he has to fix too, which I hope he does. So free kick to Scotland. Robertson whips it in. Hit away. And goes all the way back in the Scotland half. Well, that was Robertson on that free kick, not Scott McTominay. I haven't, again, because I've been back and forth between both games. I haven't seen if McTominay's been all of the set pieces. Maybe they've learnt their lesson, maybe they haven't. But in the Scotland game, it's 22 minutes gone 0-0. In the Swiss game against Germany, just in front of me, according to this timer, also just 22 minutes gone. Still 0-0 also. They've had a goal ruled out. Rightfully so. There's a foul by Musiala on a Swiss defender. Spares the blushes of Jan Sommer. If you haven't already, hit the like button as well. Be sure to subscribe too. On the road to 170,000. On the road to 170,000. Long road to 200. A reminder, we'll be live tomorrow morning too, 9 AM for the transfer view. Also, we'll have the full view tomorrow as well, 6 PM. Then I'll be live for the final games of Group B at the Euros. As Hungary now is playing out from the back. Long ball up the pitch, that. By Scotland. Flick on by McGinn. Che Adams looking to run it down. He's going to go out for a goal kick. In the Germany game, Manuel Neuer's on the ball in the box at the moment. Sweeps it out to Tar. To Kimmich, who I heard that possibly going to be leaving. Oh, look at that. Great touch by Florian Wirtz. When it was Gundogan, excuse me. Sound. To Musiala, who has just been so impressive so far. Of course, top goal scorer at the Euros is still own goal, flying ahead. Secondly, second top goal scorer, I believe, is Lukaku. VAR ruled out goals with 3. Isn't that right? Isn't he second top goal scorer in that regard? That's madness, isn't it? It's always Lukaku, isn't it? So, with Lukaku, it's always something to do with him missing. missing or having goals ruled out, skying it over the bar, missing sitters, putting his thumb up afterwards. That used to piss me off. When he played for United, someone would do a great pass, puts it through on goal, smashes it over the bar, and they would just cut to the thing of him, and he'd always be like this. Let's score! Put it in the goal! Then put your thumb up. If I was playing with him, I'd be like, hey, if you put your pissing thumb up at me again one time, we're going to have a problem. Put it in the net. Hungary. Oh, that's intercepted. Ralston. Good pass to McGregor. Hanley. McKenna. McTominay making a run towards the box. Didn't happen. Oof. McGinn, I tell you what, he was caught there. That's a yellow card. 2 yellow cards for Hungary already in this game. Orban and Styles in the book. Let's have a look at this. Boof. Look at that. Just completely leaves one on McGinn. Clashes of the knees. Alright, Germany into the box in their game. Wirtz. But this is going to be a free kick to Scotland. Billy Gilmore's going to take it. Finally! Good. McTominay's in the box, as it should be. Hopefully someone had a word. Gilmore, ball in. McGregor towards McGinn. McGregor cleared. What was going on? Was that Szoboszlai? Didn't have a clue. I was one of the Hungary players. One of the Scottish players. I tell you what, they're on the counter-attack here, Hungary. One of the Scottish players cleared it, and the Hungary player was too busy talking to someone. He didn't even know the ball was there. Kirkez goes for a ball, and Ralston blocks it. And I mean, I tell you what, he would have been winded right in the breadbasket. That. My goodness me. Couple of deep breaths, my friends. That's what you got to do. They hurt. The breath completely taken out of you. And then whenever that happens, whenever you get one right there in the stomach or one to the face, you always get that person that comes up to you straight away afterwards. You're right, mate. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I am actually, yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just got, someone just absolutely smashed a football in my face. And I'm just checking to see if everything's still kind of there. Kirkez. Szoboszlai, ball in. Headed away. Oh, counter-attacks on for Scotland. I tell you what, Switzerland have scored! There is a goal in the game against Germany. Switzerland are 1-0 up. Wow. Who saw that one coming? Now, what happens to the group now? As you can see on the screen, right there, to my right, that means that as things stand, Switzerland are top of Group A. Germany would be going through as second place team, but that would shake up the draw quite a little bit, wouldn't it? Yes. As things stand at the moment, Scotland are third, Hungary are first. 2 points and 1 point. Oh, on 1 point, Hungary will be out, but 2 points won't be enough for Scotland to go through. But as things stand, as I mentioned, this will be updated as it happens. And Switzerland currently lead Group A. Oh my! I'm just seeing here. Yeah, it was a ball across goal. And he just gets there first. Gets ahead of Tar. Gets ahead of Manuel Neuer. And Switzerland 1-0 up. And this is the drama I'm talking about. This is why these final games in these tournaments are always so interesting. Because you get stuff like this. I mean, with how impressive that Germany have been, You would have said, they'll top of the group, no problem. I mean, they were the team going into the games this evening. They were already through, but they could still already be through, but they might not be top of their group. Don't have to tell me that Germany are behind. We're already watching it. But it's Ndoye that has put Switzerland 1-0 up. Seven points for Switzerland. Who did they drop points against? Oh, yes, it was Scotland. So, yeah, things can change and evolve rather fast, can't they? I tell you what, they might be in again. They might be in again. Ndoye takes the shot. Oh, my word. It is a whisker of a cat away from being 2-0 against the hosts. My word. Take a look at this. He's just out-muscled him. He's out-muscled the centre-back. And it's a brilliant shot. Take a look at this. Right towards the corner. Manuel Neuer, he's looking. Once he gets past his hand, he's going, please, don't go in that bottom corner. And it is a whisker away. And I tell you what, if it was 2-0 to Switzerland, then we'd really have something very interesting going on, wouldn't we? Still won, but the drama has begun to drama. Rudiger, one of the strongest players you're probably going to find, strong centre-back, gets out-muscled by Ndoye there as well. Germany going to be back on the attack here. Meanwhile, Szoboszlai, he's standing over a free kick against Scotland. Is this going to be his moment? Of course, he had a great free kick, didn't he, against Germany. Manuel Neuer delivered a fantastic save. Can Szoboszlai get another one on target? If it gets gun, it'd probably go in. Szoboszlai hits the wall, and that'll go out for a corner. It really did hit the wall right in the kisser. It was McKenna right in his face. If you haven't already, click the like button. Or get the likes up. The drama is dramaing right now. This is sport. Szoboszlai with the corner. Ball in. Headed away by Hanley. Again, I don't really know what Angus Gunn was kind of really doing there. And that's cleared by McTominay. As we have about 15 minutes left, just less than 15 minutes left in both games here. And as things stand, Switzerland top Group A with 7 points, Germany with 6, Scotland in third with 2, Hungary bottom place with 1. But when it comes to Scotland, 2 points ain't going to cut it. 3, maybe. But, of course, that's not an option. Got to be 4. Got to get a win. What? Szoboszlai, forward ball. Kirkez, blocked. Kirkez ball in. Oh, it wasn't a bad ball as well. A little touch there by a Scottish defender. Sends it out for a throw-in. By the way, look at the objects being thrown at Toni Kroos while he looks to take this corner for Germany. We've said that quite a bit, haven't we, at this tournament? Objects being thrown at people from corners or behind goals. I mean, the security, he caught him there, didn't he? I mean, he bounced around all over the place, Kimmich. I mean, maybe they'll show it again. Oh, it was Mittelstadt, excuse me. He tripped! He tripped! What a dive! You diver! Look at him! He trips himself up! That is a disgrace! Nagelsmann, don't even dare! Don't you dare! Look at him running up going, oh, ref, ref, ref. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. And we've seen too much of that in this tournament, haven't we? We spoke about Rafael Leao. We spoke about these other players, but was that Mittelstadt? I think it was. That is, I mean, one of the most blatant dives you're going to see. They need to stamp it out. And I was glad that the referee booked Rafael Leao for diving yesterday, because it was a dive. But that is embarrassing. Disgraceful. Isn't that right, Kenny? Isn't that right?
Poor, and I mean poor. Absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful.
Well, I was more asking what you thought of the dive.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
Thank you very much, Kenny. That's what I was looking for immediately. Still 0-0 between Scotland and Hungary. 35 minutes played there. I can't believe that. I just honestly, we've seen too much of that in this tournament. Germany dominating possession in their game, nearly 70% of it. But it doesn't matter. The key metric, the key stat, Switzerland 1-0 up. Now, it'll be interesting to know. Well, I suppose the Scotland or Hungary players don't even need to know, do they? They don't need to know any of that. They just need to know if they win, they got a good chance of being through. They're not expected either of these two to win the group. That's not going to happen. They can't win the group. But they can do is get through if they win. Kirkez. And bear in mind, Germany were 1-0 up. That goal ruled out after a Musiala foul. Sparing the blushes of Jan Sommer. That's offside in the Scotland game. Free kick to Scotland. As we're about 10 minutes away from half time. Oh, nearly again. Switzerland were nearly through. Nearly passed right through the German defence. Germany trying to pull the put the pressure on Switzerland. That's a poor pass as well. I tell you what, if Switzerland did end up topping this group, I don't think that was like a scenario that people had considered at all. I think people just thought, well, Germany were through, they'll top the group. And again, you kind of forget, don't you? Just, oh, I tell you what, that was a collision. Was that a high boot? It might be a high boot in that game. The referee's gonna book him, I think. I think it's Tar, yeah. Went in with a high boot. I want to see this again. I mean, we haven't seen a replay just yet. Here we go. That's a look. But he's just, by the way, I mean, you don't kick him in the head, but he gets the knee to the back of the head. I mean, his leg's over his shoulder. And he's got the nerve, to be going down as if he's hurt. Ralston crossing the box in the Scotland game. Che Adams gets the knockdown. McTominay. Ball's up in the air. But Tar gets a yellow card. Deservedly so. What are you complaining about? You kicked him in the head, man. McGinn. Wasn't a good cross. Held by the keeper. Just seeing the Switzerland goal again. Great centre-forward play, isn't it? Gets ahead of Tar. Puts the ball in the net. Boom. You can see the Swiss celebrations. The Bond villain. That is their manager. Look at him. Sharp dressed man. The glasses. All he needs is that, Mr. Bond. Now Switzerland would be like, just get to half time. Free kick to Hungary. Inside their own half, but Szoboszlai is going to take. He's going to go long. Tell you what, it's a knockdown. Oof, headed away. Headed away by Hendry. Oof, what was that? That was a high boot by Che Adams. So let's have another look at this. That might be another one, a bit like we saw in the Switzerland game. Let's have a look. Here's a high boot. Always tries to do a bit of a overhead kick to clear the ball, but he's not. It doesn't look like he's actually made contact, but it's a high boot. You can't be doing that. And now this is a free kick in a very dangerous position. You would expect Szoboszlai to take, and you'd probably expect him to get it on target. Very dangerous considering the opponent you're facing. Looks like the Scottish fans are more than aware of it as well. Is this going to be the moment for Hungary? I mean, it is pretty perfect positioning for him. The angle's kind of perfect. Szoboszlai, ball in actually towards the back post, headed over the bar, should score. Well, I'm floored that Szoboszlai didn't take a shot, but he was right to. He puts the ball in. Hungary should be 1-0 up. What a miss that is. Take a look at this. Everyone thinks he's going to shoot. Thinks that. I mean, he might have been offside perhaps, but he's just yards out. And he doesn't even get it on target. Doesn't even get it on target. Doesn't even test the goalkeeper. Over the bar. What a miss. I mean, I think he might have been offside. But very, very close it would have been. That's a massive chance for Hungary. Meanwhile, in the Germany game, there was a header for Rudiger, blocked at the back post. Well, it wasn't blocked, just missed. Another big miss, actually, for Rudiger. So at the same time, you had two headed chances missed by both Hungary and Germany in separate games. Chris said, commentator said it would have been onside. It would have been very tight, definitely. But Hungarian throw-in. And now Hungary playing it out from the back. Ralston wins it back. As we're both about 3 minutes away from half time. As things stand, Switzerland going through as group winners. Germany will follow them. And you would think it would mean Scotland would be out. That's not enough to be one of the best placed third teams. Hanley tried to take a touch. Just hit him in the face. Germany on attack in their game. Mitchell start ball in. It's a good one. Oh, it's headed away. Volley, and that's wide. And this is the tension. This is the drama. Che Adams goes for a switch. Wasn't towards Robinson. Wasn't good enough. Oh, I tell you what. I thought that was two-footed. I thought that might have been two-footed, by the way. I want to have a look at this. I think he's going to get booked. Or is it Schaefer that gets booked? I want to have a look at this. It was... Let's have another look. Both players flew into each other. I'd be interested to see the replay. Let's have a look. No, it wasn't too fit. Actually, the referee gets that right. Poof. They both just dive into each other, don't they? And Schaefer kind of stamps into him. And initially, I thought that the Scottish player might have gone off the ground, but he didn't. Referee actually gets that one spot on. It's good refereeing. And that's 3 Hungary players now. He's got some big rings on, doesn't he? The Hungary manager. Look at him. Looks like he's Tom Brady. All of those rings. Free kick to Scotland. Robertson goes long. McKenna does win it. There's McTominay. Gilmore. McGinn. Ball over the top. McTominay was close. Goalkeeper just gets it. Meanwhile, Germany are in the box. It's Musiala. We know he just glides past players. And that's gone out for a goal kick to Switzerland. I can just tell, can't you? There's plenty more drama to come. Not in this half, but there's plenty of more drama to come. 1 extra minute in the Scotland-Hungary game. As far as the Germany game, we've got 2 added minutes there. Now Hungary with a bit of possession. It's a ball over the top. McKenna heads that away. Gilmore, that's a good pass. McTominay. Oh, I tell you what, the Hungary player flew into him. Does win the ball though, so no free kick. Szoboszlai shoots over the bar. There's aggression in this Scotland-Hungary game. There's some feisty tackles, full-blooded. Let's have a look at this tackle on McTominay. Does get the ball. Bagpipes are playing in the background, of course. And that's half-time, I believe, in the Scotland game. Yes, it is. So I can stop that one, and I can set that to 45. There. Boom. Look at that. Look at me working the timers. It's like magic. As we wait for the half-time whistle in the Switzerland-Germany game. Germany looking for a bit of patience here. Of course, Switzerland got something to hang on to. Rudiger on the ball. Gundogan. Tony Cruz. Tar. And that is going to be half-time in the Germany game as well. It is 1-0 to Switzerland at half-time there. Yes, and as things stand, as I mentioned, Switzerland will be going through as leaders of the group. Certainly a surprising one that not many people would have expected there. But as you can see in both games, half-time, Switzerland 1, Germany 0, Scotland 0, Hungary 0. I enjoyed that first half. I like this part of the tournament. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy this part of the tournament. So, yes, there you go. I've got to make sure my timers and my clocks are ready. Yes, look at that. Look at that. That actually worked. Look at that. Terrific. How many likes we currently got? Let's see if we can get to 150 likes. Click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. A reminder, there's a lot coming here at United View. Tomorrow morning, as always, we'll be live 9 a.m. Flex and myself talking the latest transfer news and Manchester United news in general. Things have slowed down. It feels like a smidge, doesn't it, when it comes to transfers of Manchester United? But we'll be bringing you the latest tomorrow morning at 9. There'll also be a full view tomorrow, 6 p.m. Because, of course, the Euros will be kicking off at 8 p.m. So I'll be live once more at 7:45 tomorrow evening for the final games from Group B. So be sure to join me then too. As far as the latest Manchester United news today, if you saw the video that went up earlier on from myself, some quite surprising news really, wasn't it, regarding Ruud van Nistelrooy. Manchester United approaching former Manchester United striker Ruud van Nistelrooy to become a member of Erik ten Hag's coaching staff. I think news that probably nobody kind of expected. I know certainly I did not. The information or reporting prior to today's news was that Van Nistelrooy was going to become the next manager of Burnley. He was one of the favourites, still is one of the favourites to become the new Burnley manager. But he's got a decision to make, and reportedly that decision is going to come within the next 7 days as to what Van Nistelrooy wants to do. Does he want to become the manager of Burnley? Does he want to continue being a manager as he was previously at PSV? Or does he want to take maybe a bit of a backward step in terms of being a manager, but it could be a positive forward step in terms of his own career by being part of the backroom staff at Manchester United, of course, where he is a beloved figure. It does line up with the reporting that we had heard previously, hadn't it? That there were changes coming to Manchester United and the coaching staff. And whilst Erik ten Hag was going to be staying, he's going to be getting this new contract. And the new contract was going to see quite a few changes. Some things that Ineos wanted, some things that maybe Erik wanted to keep in place. But one of them was some members, at least one, of the backroom staff. There had been reports about Benny McCarthy possibly leaving. His contract is up. There had been reservations about Mitchell van der Gaag, some players having some issues with him, but Erik ten Hag very loyal to his number 2. And it looks like maybe the Ineos hire, into that backroom staff could indeed be Ruud van Nistelrooy. And look, if you're really cynical, and I've seen people use this theory, and to be honest, I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. I think if you were Ruud van Nistelrooy, you might look at it as, one, look, it's a fantastic opportunity to become a member of the backroom staff. I think, two, some people could suggest it's a bit of a fail-safe, shall we say, from Ineos, because if things don't go right or don't go well with Erik ten Hag, you've got an interim or a caretaker there ready to go, which I do think there might be a little bit of something in that, perhaps. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy also has proved himself to be a very capable coach. I think he did well at PSV. Of course, he won the cup competition in the Netherlands. He finished second with PSV. It was Feyenoord that won the league that year, and you could put the argument that maybe he laid the groundwork for PSV to win the Eredivisie this year, because they won the Eredivisie this year, didn't they? Eredivisie winners. Let me double check that. This season, it was PSV, right? There it was. So, is that was that part of Ruud's work, or did Ruud fail because he had all of these fantastic players at his disposal? I don't know. I don't watch the Eredivisie every single week. I know he was there for a season, then he left because he said he wasn't getting the support that he needed. Don't know, but nevertheless, I think that would be a good acquisition by Manchester United, and it is a bit of an exciting one. What I think will happen, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because given that he had been a manager before at PSV, you would think, well, does he want to continue being a manager? I know it's in the Championship, but you would expect Burnley to be one of the favourites to go up back to the Premier League next season, because that's what Burnley do. When they get relegated, they tend to come back up very quickly, but it's not a sure thing. You never know with the Championship. So I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'd love it. I mean, I've got, I think probably like most people, got an affinity for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Proper in my era, growing up, I can only picture him in... when I picture Ruud van Nistelrooy at Manchester United, I picture him in the Vodafone black and red kit of sort of 2002 to 2004. Like, that's the period of time. When I think Ruud van Nistelrooy at Manchester United, that's the kit that I see him in. I see him in that kit. The red and black with the long sleeves, with him scoring what felt like every single game, hardly missing any penalties except Arsenal at Old Trafford, of course, when he smashed it against the crossbar. Scoring goals. I mean, the thing is as well, he kind of got hit with that, he was just, in the box kind of player. But I remember the goal he scored against Fulham at Old Trafford, where he runs like most of the pitch. Runs most of the pitch and then puts it past the goalkeeper. A top player. I mean, he really was. And with how it ended was a bit unfortunate, wasn't it? Because you've got Rooney coming through, Ronaldo coming through. They just put Louis Saha, and I think at the time there was a bit of a fallout perhaps with Sir Alex, and then he ended up going to Real Madrid. But top player, got a proper affinity for Ruud van Nistelrooy. And he would be a fantastic acquisition and a fantastic addition to the backroom staff. People can talk about, is it what Erik would want? Would Erik be unhappy with that? Well, I think, again, this is part of the negotiation process of Erik staying, isn't it? Of going, right, so we want you to stay, you want to stay, but these are the conditions for you to stay, which is we want to give you a new contract, we want to change some things, we want to change your position a little bit, we want to kind of take a bit away from you in recruitment, but you're still going to be involved. It's not as if, you're not going to be involved in that process at all. We'd prefer like from come from maybe the technical director or sporting director. We'd prefer this coach to be on the coaching staff. Are you happy with that? Okay, I'll have him on the coaching staff. He knows Manchester United. He knows the standards of the club. He was there when Manchester United used to win Premier League titles. So, get him involved as well. So I think that would be a really positive bit of news. Again, whether it's a sure thing, I don't know, because it's not as if he doesn't have offers on the table. Reportedly, he is still the favourite to become the Burnley manager, and you've got the opportunity to be part of backroom staff. You've got the opportunity to be a manager, to be a head coach. And as we've seen in the past, you've got people that have left Manchester United's managerial backroom staff, to become managers in the Championship or in the lower leagues. Whether it was McKenna, whether it was Michael Carrick too. So, yeah, put it this way: I wouldn't be shocked if it comes out and goes, well, look, I love Manchester United, but manager, I want to be a manager. That's my priority. That's what I want to be. So I wouldn't be shocked if he did end up going to Burnley. But I do think there is a part of it, as much as it might not even be explicitly said to him, there might be something in the back of his mind that goes, look, I'll go there and let's see what happens. If we win loads of stuff, I'm part of a really successful managerial staff there and I'll get good offers. If it all goes to shit and Eric ends up getting let go at some point in the season, I'll probably take over, and you never know how that one could turn out. So I think from a purely selfish point of view, for his perspective, he might be like, let's go there and see what happens, kind of thing. And I wouldn't blame him for that. And I don't think he'd go there and tank it purposely. I want to make sure I get in charge. No, nothing like that. But that might be something at the back of maybe Ineos's mind or his mind, or put it that way. But the ideal scenario is that he goes there and everyone's totally successful, and we see dramatic improvement from Manchester United. And look, having those kind of people that have been so successful at United and successful careers too are just naturally good to, and then also our good coaches are good to have around Carrington on a daily basis, isn't it? And this isn't just like a whole, just bring back all the ex-United players. Well, no, bring them back if they're good at what they do, and if they are good at what they do, that can be quite important too, can't it? So I think that would be some good news. As far as transfer stuff, we haven't really heard that much. Ours. There had been some rumblings about Joshua Zirkzee, basically that, and you hear this a lot. This is the story that comes out a lot, isn't it, around this time, which is they don't want to get drawn into transfer stuff. They don't want to discuss transfer stuff or anything like that until the international tournament is finished. We'll hear that quite a lot. Lots of clubs will hear that at the moment, which is, I'm not interested right now. I'm focusing on the Euros. I'm focusing on Copa America. I'm focusing on the Olympics. I'll sort it afterwards. We'll talk about it afterwards. That's it. So things might slow down a little bit regarding Joshua Zirkzee, perhaps, with that one. So keep an eye out, basically, for that. Some people, I suppose, which, again, makes sense, with Ruud van Nistelrooy. What does that mean about Jared Branthwaite? Of course, Van Nistelrooy did work with Branthwaite at PSV, so there would be a link there. Whether that means all that much, I don't know. I think the key thing that would mean much when it comes to Jared Branthwaite is, are Everton willing to take their asking price down? At the moment, it doesn't look like it, and it also looks like all of those Premier League teams that had to sell players or have some funds, some incomings before the end of the month, suddenly have started buying and selling players from each other, haven't they? And academy players that in some cases haven't even played in the Premier League, and academy players that have only been under contract for a year or so and only played in PL2 matches suddenly are worth the best part of £20 million. Oh, that's very interesting, isn't it? That's how that's all happening. And what clubs are there again? Oh, it's your Aston Villas. Oh, it's your Chelseas. Oh, it's your Evertons. Oh, it's your Newcastles. And they needed to get that business done, didn't they? And suddenly they can do that. It's very curious how that one's working out. Almost like these PSR and FFP rules are just there just to be manipulated, just to be like, okay, what's the latest rule of that one? Right, so if they say that, right, that means we can kind of do that and get away with it, right? Well, until next year when they change that rule again. Well, until then, let's do it. It's like Chelsea when they first came in, Clear Lake, and suddenly everyone was getting 10-year contracts, and then it was like, well, you can't do that anymore. You can still do long contracts, but you can't spread the transfer fee out that much anymore. Okay, what do you mean we can sell hotels though? Well, Yeah, but not many people have got them. We do. There you go. We can do that one. Yeah, that's what we can do. Now it's like we need to sell before the end of the month. Oh, when we're negotiating, clubs know that, so they're giving us low offers. What are we going to do? Well, are we the only club that's having this issue? Well, actually, no, there's like 3 or 4 of us. Well, maybe then I just give a call to one of those other clubs and say, hey, if you buy an academy player off us for 20 million quid, why would I do that? They're only it's worth like £1 million, maybe at best, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, but if you buy them for 20, we'll buy one off you for like 20, and we fix a lot of our issues, yeah? And we spread the cost over like 5 or 6 years. You can do that. Well, it doesn't say we can't. Oh, okay, let's do that then. And they get themselves out of trouble. It's just very interesting how all this kind of stuff is happening. Definitely nothing fishy there going on at all. So, it's just, I don't know. With all of that, it just sums up all of this transfer business now. Because I don't know about you, but I just don't recognize it anymore. I don't recognize football like that anymore. Now it's just about bending and manipulating rules, isn't it? And as I say, I don't want to be that person of back in my day and all that kind of stuff, but it's eye rolling a bit, isn't it? When you just go, that's what this all is. That's what transfers are now. Right, the players are back out on the pitch in the Scotland game. 3 likes away from 150. If you haven't already, click the like button. Of course, a draw does nothing for both teams, so both have got to go for a win. If either wins, they might be through. Scotland would be through. Hungary, depends. But we wait for kick-off. And we're off. We're off in this one anyway. As far as the Scotland one, for the Germany one, as I mentioned, when it comes up, that's what will happen. The Scotland game is live. The Germany game is close to live. But both teams have got to go for it. On the Germany game here, it looks like they're back out on the pitch. What's going on here? There they are. That's iPlayer for you, though, isn't it? A foul by Scotland. Free kick to Hungary. Of course, quite a few yellow cards in the Scotland-Hungary game. Mainly to Hungary. Header by Hanley. As I'm waiting for kickoff now in this game. And the other one. There you go. That one's now underway. You know what they should do? They should do a... I mean, unless this is actually a thing. If it is, you can let me know. But they should do a thing on the BBC where you press the red button and both games are there, shouldn't they? If that is a thing, well, then you learn something new every day, I suppose. Cleared by Robertson, out for a Hungary throw-in. George there with the super chat says, play the Dutty Gal by Haley. Good watch alongs thus far. Well, there you go. Look, you take requests. take requests in terms of super chats. I'm happy to oblige for a super chat. There you go.
Like a dirty gal.
You know, easy.
Poor, and I mean poor.
That's all right, Kenny. It's all right. It's fine. Corner. Sabozlai puts the ball in the box. Head away. Well, certainly both teams, they'd be really disappointed 0-0. Talk about, you know, their Euros ending with a bit of a flop. They both need a win, so they both got to go for it. As far as Germany, they want to at least get a goal back, wouldn't they? Draw, it's not the end of the world. They'll go back to top of the group, I think, wouldn't they? But a loss would not be good. Ball in. Soboslai flicks it around the corner. Shoots. Held by Angus Gunn. It will go down as a shot on target, though, I think. Nadafree says they do the multi-screen thing in other countries, not the UK, afraid. Typical. Do you know what? On Sky, I don't know if this is still the case, but Sky, they definitely used to. If two games were on, they used to do press the red button, multi-screen, boom. You would think, wouldn't you? You would think that they would have that function here for games that are at the same time. They'd be like, well, if you want to be up to date real time, press the red button. But no, it's like, well, can either watch it on BBC One or BBC Two, or if you want to watch both, iPlayer, one of them and that. It's all about getting a count. So I'll tell you what, in the box here for Switzerland. That goes out for a Germany goal kick. McTominay. Or referee gives a foul. Scottish fans not happy. Mr. Meh says, Owen, did you already add the hello FU to the soundboard? I haven't yet, no. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Scott McTominay, did they just say that he's been booked, and that means if they're through, he misses the next game? Is that what they said? Well, now if you're Scotland, you're really thinking,
oh no! Oh no!
No Mickey T, no party, no points, no tournament. That would not be good. Well, Scott, you just got to get him there now. Yeah, you just got to get him there, haven't you? McTominay does get fouled there. And it is a foul. But that's what happens when you get a card-happy referee. Then suddenly they start dishing them out. Start dishing them out to everyone. I mean, that's 4 yellow cards in that game, the Scotland game. McGinn. It's Kai Havertz in the Germany game. Oh, ball. I thought that might have gone off. No. But it's a Scotland throw-in. Oh, Havertz. Through. Takes a shot. Saved by Sommer. Rebound. Oh. Oh dear. Not good. Not good by Ilkay Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan. Excuse me. It's a shot by Havertz. And to be honest, I'm not sold on that goalkeeping from somewhere there. Look. Just puts it straight back into the danger zone. And Gundogan makes a mess of it. Hanley. A nice little reverse pass that. I tell you what, Switzerland, oof. Moving forward though. If they get a second and then Germany really in trouble. I mean, I say trouble. They're going through, but at the edge of the box. Oh, what a collision that is between Rudiger and between the Swiss player. Look at him, he picked him up. He picked him up as well. Not only did he make the tackle, he went, get up. Get out of here. Well, in the Scotland game, here comes Che Adams. Adams shoots and over the bar. Saw his name in lights and smelt the glory. But it wasn't to be. Ball towards the back post, headed across goal by Kimmich. And that's away from Switzerland. Bit of drama in both. It just sort of bobbled up a little bit for Che Adams. Of course, Scotland kicking towards the Scottish fans in this second half. So if they scored a goal, it was a late one, that you would see limbs upon limbs behind the goal. Similar situation for Germany. They're kicking towards their fans too. Mittelstadt is going to put it back. Ball into the box all the way to Jan Sommer. And that's an offside in the Scotland game. Lots of people saying they don't like the 2 yellow cards equals a suspension rule. It is a bit shit, isn't it? Now, when it comes to that, when do they get wiped? Because they get wiped at a certain point. Is it after the quarterfinals? Is it after, like, if you get out of the group stage, then they're wiped or whatever? Because they do get wiped at some point, don't they? And you always see it, don't you? You always see it in these tournaments where that is always a little sort of subplot, isn't it? Going into the game of, well, this player, he's missing out because he got a booking, or this player, he's not playing because he's on a booking, or this player, if he plays, then he gets a booking. He's going to miss the next one, so they got to be careful. What a battle that is between Soberslai and Robertson. Alan says wiped after the quarters. Right. Look at that. That's a block by Che Adams. Gets a big reaction from the Tartan army. It's not a great kick by the goalkeeper. But Robertson dispossessed. Soberslai is going to travel. Soberslai, Hungary on the attack. Here comes Soberslai. Oh no, it wasn't a good pass. Went through Ralston into the box. Well, he makes a recovery. He recovers. But Hungary are saying handball. Well, he's lucky because Ralston really messed that up. Was it a handball? Never. Never in a million years. Meanwhile, Germany takes the shot. Oh, just wide. But it's going to be a corner to Hungary. That was miles away from Tony Cruz. You've got, what is that? Is that 2 Hungary players? 2 Hungary players in front of Angus Gunn. But Ralston's looking to protect his goalkeeper. Ooh. I tell you what, it was whipped in. And that's a couple of times, couple of corners where Angus Gunn comes out and he's just going straight into no man's land and not really anywhere near the ball. And that's going to end up being a problem. He's a bit of a strange one, isn't he, Angus Gunn? In the first game, he was shocking. And then in the second game, he made some very impressive saves. But this game is there for Scotland. It really is. And it's interesting because, again, for both, a draw means nothing. They both have got to go for it. Both teams have to win. And it does look a bit like both are playing a bit cautious. Maybe the sort of desperation will come later on. Obviously, in the Switzerland-Germany game, it's a bit different because, of course, Switzerland have already got that goal. Germany are going to be looking for the goal to go back to top of the group, probably. But it's not as if Switzerland still aren't keeping Germany on their toes, because they definitely are. Speaking of which, that's a poor pass back to Rudiger. Switzerland have the ball out wide. And if they get that second goal, looks like they're just trying to keep the ball a little bit here. John McGinn, he's into the box. McGinn, oh, he tried to find McTominay. But that's a throw-in. McGinn gets into the box. He's looking for McTominay to cut it back. The Hungary player's just there. Throw-in. Gilmore. Blocked by Styles. Hendry went for a header. I think he might have been looking for a free kick. Didn't get it. You're offside there, so he's going to wait for the player to hook it away. Not the best kick. They do win a header. Hungary on the counter-attack. Got to be a bit careful here. Ooh. And a little miscommunication, but gun's fine. It's offside for Varga. Doesn't look very happy. Yeah, he's miles off. Robertson. No goals in either of the second half games. Only one overall to Switzerland. That might change because here comes Germany. That's a great tackle. Oh, but they're giving the ball away. And that's a corner to Germany. Remember to click the like button if you haven't already. See if we can get 200 likes. Be sure to subscribe too whilst you're at it. Oh, nearly fouled to McTominay there. Game's starting to get a bit more stretched with Scotland and Hungary. McGinn. Ralston. Oh, it wasn't a bad one. Just too close to Galassi, the goalkeeper. Germany have a corner, but that's been headed away. Ball still up in the air, and Switzerland get rid of it. Musiala. Oh, look at the feet by Musiala again. Gundogan. That's a corner. And Gunn's going to clear it for Scotland. Oof, I tell you what, that Hungary player landed quite sorely on the ground. Substitution for Hungary. Whilst they're making that sub, Tony Kroos is standing over a corner. And Styles is coming off. Kroos, ball in. Oof, Jan Sommer does get something to it. A bit of a punch. Can Switzerland counter? They do look dangerous, don't they, Switzerland? Oh, that wasn't a good pass. That was a proper curse of the commentator, wasn't it? Which, again, this is so surprising because I thought that Scotland played really well against Switzerland. And actually, they were unfortunate not to win it. I mean, I know they scored and then pretty much nearly conceded immediately. But you'd probably say this is the best Switzerland have played thus far. Although they did do alright against Hungary in the first game, in fairness. I know they could end up the same amount of points as England do. Hopefully they do, to be honest. Speaking of which, here they come on the counter again. Pass out wide. He's got to keep that in. 60 minutes gone in that one. And just keep playing a bit. Oh, it's not bad. They're into the box here. They look a bit leggy. I mean, that's got to be obstruction. It is. Free kick to Germany. Still, you're probably saying the Scotland game, the biggest chance was that one in the first half from the Hungary free kick. But it might have been offside. That's a good ball in towards Che Adams. It's a corner to Scotland. No, it's not. It's offside. In the Germany game, Mittelstadt and Tar coming off. Oncoming Realm and Schlotterbeck. Che Adams as well. He gave it big to the crowd and then turned around and went, "You're offside, mate." Oh. Show says, brilliant from Germany so far, on course to face England in the last 16. Oh. No shit. Well, I said quarterfinals, so even I might have been wrong with that one. Isn't it funny how things change as well? Because when we played Germany 3 years ago, like, obviously, look, I get beating Germany at a major tournament. It's a big deal. And it did feel like a big deal when we beat them that day. But make no mistake, that was not the Germany of yesteryear. That was Joachim Löw at the end of his tenure. Germany had been very poor for a while. But it still was a big win. We played this Germany. I'd be like, oh, in Germany. We have a good coach. Headed over the bar. Oof. By Hungary. By Dardoy. Another corner for Germany. Headed away. Are we going to get... I mean, surely we're going to get a goal in this Scotland game. They can't allow it to end up 0-0, both teams. They've lost the ball, edge of the box. Szoboszlai. Oh, good interception by Andrew Robertson. He might have been fouled. No. Referee plays on. It's had one that was just fizzed over the bar in the Germany game. Gilmore. .65 minutes gone. Scotland 0, Hungary 0. In the Switzerland game, it is Switzerland 1, Germany 0. Here comes McTominay on the run. McTominay. I mean, he's not one for really running with the ball that much. Kind of got maybe a bit overconfident. Dean says Germany second puts them versus Spain's group, isn't it? Well, let's have a look actually what this would mean. Euro 2024 wiki. I mean, again, I'm not very good with this stuff. Knockout stage. So the winner of Group A would face the runner-up of Group C. So let's have a look. That would mean Switzerland. That would mean Switzerland would face the runner-up of Group C, which would probably be maybe Denmark. So probably be Switzerland versus Denmark. And then the runner-up of Group A. The runner-up of Group A. The runner-up of Group A faces the runner-up of Group B. So we wouldn't face second. Yeah. Runner-up of Group A faces the runner-up of Group B, it says here. If we win our group, which is what, Group C? So we're at Group C. So if we win our group, the winner of Group C faces third of D, E, or F. So you could be looking at maybe, I don't know, the Czech Republic or Georgia, maybe Slovakia, maybe Austria. That could be that might be that one. It might be Austria. Because the best placed third team in Group D, you're looking at either the Netherlands or France or Austria. That's the one to be scared of. We might end up facing them. Oh dear. Free kick for Hungary. Oh, Gunn, I tell you what, he flew out. And he's down. He went into Ralston. Oh dear. Oh dear. Someone's got to go to him, roll him over. The Hungary player looks down. That looks really frightening. Yeah, he's been rolled over into the recovery position. I hate seeing stuff like this. That was really nasty. They're saying get over to him. This is not good at all. The Hungarian scene is actually really disturbing. You saw it immediately. It was. I'm glad they got him to the recovery position as soon as possible, but that was actually really frightening. Oh dear. They've brought on some sheets to surround Varga. This doesn't look good at all. I mean, the camera went onto him straight away and he was led backwards, and it looked, that's why I kind of freaked out, because it looked really disturbing. And immediately you could tell the players rushed over to him, got him into the recovery position as soon as they possibly could. They were screaming for people to go over. They had to go over. And now they're saying get the stretcher on. I mean, they're literally, the Hungary players are literally taking the stretcher off the paramedics. They're saying get it to him as quickly as possible. But they weren't happy with how quickly it was being brought on. I mean, they're saying there's a VAR check for a penalty, but it's irrelevant at this point. The health of the player is the biggest priority. But this is really, really worrying. They've kind of stopped showing camera angles of the pitch at the moment too. Now I didn't really see, so I don't know if this was part of the collision. I don't know if it was something separate to it. When we don't know. But I mean, we're just seeing a replay here of what actually happened. Well, you didn't really see what happened to the Hungary player, but the concerning thing was, and again, I'm not gonna speculate, but the Hungary player, he saw his arms make a very, again, a very disturbing movement as he went down. Which again, that was my initial reaction straight away, was someone get to him immediately, because they zoomed in on him sort of straight away and it looked really bad. That's why I was like, get to him as quickly as you can, get to him. And they got him into the recovery position, and you can tell immediately with situations like this is the reaction of the players. And they formed a barrier almost eerily reminiscent of what happened with Christian Eriksen 3 years ago. Dominic Szoboszlai reportedly is in tears, but this is really, really concerning. This is really, really scary. And they've kind of just gone to a wide shot of the pitch now, which again, these are all indicators of something very serious happening and very worrying happening. Meanwhile, the game is still ongoing when it comes to Switzerland and Germany. As far as this one at the moment, the clock is still running, but again, all of this is just completely irrelevant. And as I mentioned, this whole talk about penalty checks or whatever, who cares? The welfare of the player is the most important thing here. But this is not good. You could tell immediately something was off. And it's one of those ones where football's not all that important, really, is it? And from the wide shot, once again, it looks like more medical staff's coming onto the pitch. More medical staff looks to be coming on. And again, obviously, we're limited to what we can see But this is really concerning, really worrying. And the crowd are applauding, which would maybe think maybe he's being stretchered off at the moment. Yeah, commentators just confirmed he's being stretchered away. And thoughts are with his family. Imagine seeing this. His loved ones, his friends, his teammates. I mean, as he's being stretchered away, they've got the sheets up surrounding him. And obviously we wish him the best and hope that everything's okay. And we hope that's not what it appears to be. It's not appropriate to speculate on what it could be. But again, it's eerily reminiscent of things that have been seen previously. It's not good. Not good at all. Hopefully he's okay. Well, the game is, it feels quite immaterial now, doesn't it? But the game is going to be continuing. There are some substitutions being made. Of course, Varga's now off. Adam and Saslai are on. And of course, if they say anything on commentary about the an update on that situation, we'll let you know. But very worrying stuff, very concerning stuff. But the hope is with that situation is that he won't be too far away from medical support equipment facilities. So hopefully, as in the case with a Christian Eriksen or a Tom Lockyer earlier on this year or whatever, hopefully it can have a bit of a positive ending. But the game is carrying on. As I mentioned, it's always horrible when stuff like this happens because everything else that follows it feels quite immaterial, doesn't it? But here come Hungary on the attack. Ball in. Maybe a handball. Scotland say handball. Soboslai dances through. And that's headed away. And they're saying it's a push in the back. And that's going to be a free kick. Would it have been handball? I think it might have been handball. I think it would have been given. But obviously, once again, thoughts are with Barnabas Vargas. Now, John McGinn's coming off here. And so is Che Adams. In the Switzerland-Germany game, of course, that's been ongoing. It's still Switzerland 1, Germany 0. Of course, with the lengthy stoppage in this game, the Scotland one, there will be a lot of stoppage time added on. Here comes Scotland on the counter-attack here. Robertson. Billy Gilmore, who has looked like he's about making something happen. Oh, ball by McTominay was very close to Gilmore. That's out for a Scotland corner. Well, certainly, as mentioned, these games are not going to end at the same time now. We know that. I will tell you what, it was close to being a really good pass by McTominay. In the Germany game, Wirtz and Musiala are off. Leroy Sané is coming on, as well as Fulkrug. McTominay on corners again. And once again, cleared. Well, I don't know why still he is on those corners. Oh, Gilmore's made an error. Here come Hungary on the counter-attack. When he just overhit it. Just overhit it. Goes over to Angus Gunn. I say just overhit. He hit overhit quite a bit. But I don't understand still why Scott McTominay's on set pieces. Show says another poor performance from Wirtz, the one player in this Germany side not clicking. It's actually an interesting one. You mentioned that with Florian Wirtz. Of course, after the season he had with Bayer Leverkusen, lots were expecting a really impressive display. And in comparison to Gundogan and Musiala, you're right, he really has trailed behind them in terms of being impressive and making things happen. Of course, still plenty of time to go in the tournament. McTominay towards Armstrong. Armstrong, he's gone down in the box. Is the referee going to give it? Referee says no penalty. Wow. Now, it looked like it had to be a penalty. It looked like it had to be. I mean, the commentator screams, got to be a penalty. Steve Clark and John Carver in their technical area looked to be absolutely furious. I mean, it looked like it had to be. Looked like he was wrestled to the ground. It looked like he was through on goal. I thought it had to be a penalty. Surely there'll be a check that's ongoing with this. You thought it just had to be. I mean, we still haven't seen a replay yet. I mean, Andrew Robertson's got his hands in the air to say to the referee, are we even looking at this? But eventually, do VAR have to say to the referee, we're checking this, we're looking at it? We still, again, have seen no replay. And now Hungary with just a bit of possession. But it looked like it had to be a penalty. But the referee looked very convinced that it wasn't. And that's going to go out for a throw. And perhaps now, are we going to see this? Let's have a look. Ball by McTominay. Armstrong looked through on goal. Let's have a look. Well, it's got to be a penalty. I mean, the knee goes into the back of him. I thought it was a penalty. For me, it goes through the back of him. I think that has to be a penalty. Look, his knee goes into the back of his knee. For me, that's a penalty. Are they looking at it? No VAR check. That is staggering for me. Did VAR even check it? That's a penalty. For me, that is a penalty. I mean, again, his knee goes into the back of his leg. I think that has to be a penalty. I think that's a really poor decision, not only from the referee, but also from VAR. I mean, yeah, it looks like maybe Armstrong is looking for the contact, but for me, that's a clear penalty. I think Scotland are right to be completely furious with that one. I mean, he's fallen into the back of him. It's not as if there's no contact. It's knee into the back of the leg. It has to be a penalty. Absolutely shocking decision. Hungary ball in. And Gunn collects that. Well, 10 minutes remain in this one, plus a lot of stoppage time, of course, after the Vargas situation. In the Switzerland game, it's still 1-0 to Switzerland against Germany. I mean, you still probably would say about both teams in this one, they've got to go for it more than they have. It looks like two teams that have been scared to lose as opposed to want to win. It's been maybe a bit too cautious for my liking. They've got to go for it. Meanwhile, Germany are looking for an equaliser to make sure they top their group. At the moment, it's Switzerland up top with 7 points. Scotland, they're looking to make sure that if they win, they'll finish third and be one of the best placed teams, or have a chance to be one of the best placed teams. Ralston, Gilmour. Good pass by Gilmour, in behind Shankland. Oh! Keeper spilled it towards McTominay. That's offside. Was the offside here? It makes the run across. I mean, I think he probably would have just. But had he scored, it would have definitely been checked. More substitutions now made by Scotland. Billy Gilmore. I'm surprised by that one. I thought Billy Gilmore's looked lively. He's looked like he has got to be, making things happen. Ralston's coming off. Maybe it's just a case of getting people forward. Germany have a free kick. Toni Kroos is standing over it. Puts the ball into an area. Swatted out. And that's Leroy Sané puts it wide. Still 1-0 in that game. 7 to play plus a lengthy stoppage time for Scotland. No doubt about that. Dan says Billy Gilmour has been a massive threat. You can't understand why he's going off. Remember, this is the manager that put Scott on set pieces. Well, maybe exactly. Robertson forward. But I thought if there's anyone that looked like they were going to sort of open the door, it looked like it was going to maybe be a Billy Gilmour or a McTominay. But he didn't start Gilmour in the first game, did he? So maybe there's a bit of a Steve Clark agenda going on there with Billy Gilmour. Szoboszlai. Ball in. Keeper thought about it. He's edgy, isn't he? Got in goal. Looks like his decision making, he's a really indecisive goalkeeper. McGregor. Christie. He's travelling with it. It's not really got anywhere to go. And he's intercepted. Now Szoboszlai. Puts out to Kirkes. I mean, it doesn't look like, does it? It's the Hungary that, smashed England a couple of, was it like a year or so ago at Molineux? Doesn't feel like it's that. Ball in. Headed away. Now, Hanley's down with a head injury. He's down. To be fair, the players look tired. Here we go. There's an opportunity for Switzerland. Switzerland are in the box. That's 2-0. That is 2-0 to Switzerland. And that could be them confirmed as group winners. But, what's going on here? Referee's got his hand up. This could be an offside. We've got more drama. Flag is up. So we'll take this one back. Let's have a look. Well, it doesn't matter. Martin Keown, are we going to trust this linesman? Martin, there's technology, you idiot. It's very tight. We'll wait and see what the technology is saying. Linesman gets it right. So still on that one, it is still 1-0. Wait for the graphic to come up. And Martin Keown, are we going to trust this linesman? Doesn't really matter, does it? Grant Hanley still being treated for his head injury, so it just adds to the stoppage time for this game. There's going to be a lot. Of course, there was the Vargas situation. There was the Hanley now head injury. So you'd probably be looking at least, what, maybe 10 minutes extra? It might be that long. Toni Kroos with the corner. Header! Oh, just on the roof of the net. By Kai Havertz. Let's have a look at this while the stoppage is still ongoing. And it's a free header, really, for Kai Havertz. He should do a lot better. He doesn't really head it. Just clips the bar as well. It comes off his shoulder. Doesn't even head it. Clips his shoulder and hits the top of the bar. Doesn't look like Germany are going to be scoring at all, does it? Doesn't look like it's going to be their evening. And we're talking about, Germany being one of the most impressive sides thus far. This is not a Germany, by the way, that has rotated. This is not a Germany that's gone, we're through, we don't care. This is a Germany that have played the team that they've been playing the whole way through the tournament. And Switzerland look like, still time to go, but Switzerland look like they're going to do a job on them. Sané's going to try and cut inside. Goes down. Referee says no. He says you were looking for that one, mate. That's a long ball forward by Hungary. That's going to go out for a goal kick for Scotland. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, he was offside. So, that automated offside thing is really good, isn't it? It is good. Well, Andrew Robertson coming off now. For who? Lewis Morgan coming on. Of New York Red Bulls. Wow, the captain is off. Looked like he's got maybe a bit of a limp going. Maybe that's part of it. It looks like maybe Robertson might be carrying an injury. He's kept it on. He's kept it on by Shankland. Ah. And that's going to be a foul. And this is why, again, this is why you look at that penalty decision, why it was so critical. Because Scotland just don't look like scoring, do they? I mean, even when they scored their only, well, I said their only goal, they got that own goal against Germany. They haven't actually scored. I mean, I guess McTominay scored, even though it's heavily deflected, but a goal that has had no deflection or is an own goal. They haven't done that in the tournament thus far, have they? So that sort of threat, they just don't look like they've got that threat at all, does it? That's why that penalty was so critical. It's not as if they're creating a lot of chances. Flick on in the Germany game. Havertz is in the box. Goes shoulder to shoulder. It's not going to be a foul. Referee says it was shoulder to shoulder. Switzerland are on the counter-attack. Meanwhile, Schaefer's on the attack for... Oh, has a shot. Pushed out by Angus Gunn. Switzerland are in the box. Granit Xhaka! Oh! Brilliant save by Manuel Neuer. We know Granit Xhaka, he's got a shot from a distance. And it's a good save by Manuel Neuer. Take a look at this. His perfect distance would have been creeping in. Let's have a look from this angle. Yeah, probably would have. Good save. Corner comes out. That's wide by Hungary. Yeah, it would have been creeping just in. Good save by Manuel Neuer. And yes, 10 minutes. It's 10 added minutes. So plenty of time still to play. 10 minutes for Hungary and Scotland to try and find a way into the next round. But both teams need a goal. The current scoreline is not enough for either. Both teams need a win. Of course, as things stand, this group turned on its head a little bit with this Switzerland win. And really opens us a good pass. Adam Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai shoots. Saved by Gunn. It's ricocheting. And that's away. Well, that was a chance. And probably we might see now a bit of a 10-minute shootout of both teams going end-to-end. They should do anyway. But also with Germany finishing second in this group as things stand. Oh! Just headed wide. I think Gunn, did he tip it wide? While he was offside, it wouldn't have mattered. But as things stand, with Germany being second, we're going to have some very tasty round of 16 matches. Because this would be against what many expected. And again, this is why the final group stage games are so good. Drama! Drama! We've only just started. This is what it's going to be like for the next 4 days or so. Ah, you can't beat it, can you? You can't beat it. This is drama. This is sport. Hungary on the attack again. They're in. They're in. Through on goal. Takes the shot. He's hit the post. Oh, my word. I mean, it's the biggest chance of the game thus far. He's hit the post. Maybe a bit of a difficult angle. But Hungary. Chapot. Pass gun in goal. Oh, hits the post flush. Look at this. Oh, it doesn't even come back. Szoboszlai was there. If it came back in his direction, he'd put it in. But I mentioned it was going to turn into a bit of a shootout. Scotland have lost the ball again. Here is Szoboszlai. He's running with the ball. Szoboszlai. Is that a foul? Referee says get up. Scotland, they're saying get up the pitch in the other direction. And now this game has opened absolutely. McTominay goes down. That's going to be a free kick. Oh, I told you the drama. I told you the drama. And there's still time. There absolutely is still time. Stoppage time in the Switzerland game. 4 minutes of stoppage time added on. Tony Kroos. I'll keep my eye on this while Scotland are going to have their free kick. It looks like they're going to load people into the box. Ball in. Oh, it's a header. Oh, it's in. Germany have equalised and Germany are going to top the group. Look at this. It's Füllkrug again. Not the first time he's come on and got a goal. And that is an absolute bit of masterstroke by Nagelsmann. Another substitute that has worked. And as things stand now, Germany will go top of the group. Switzerland have led for the entirety of this final round of games. But now, once again, things are back to normal. Meanwhile, Scotland, ball into the box. McGregor shoots, blocks. The drama is dramaing. Hey, I told you. I promised you. I promised you the drama. We're getting it. Rudiger's done his hamstring. Rudiger's done his hamstring. What's going on? Oh, my words. And now, I mentioned that Germany finishing second meant all of some of we were going to get some tasty last 16 games. Now, not so much. He's clearly onside. Füllkrug. It's a great header. Look at that. Heads it back where it came from. Across Jan Sommer and Guy. And to be fair, it's been coming, hasn't it? They've had chances after chances after chances. They've hit the bar. And Füllkrug once more. Boom. And surely he's got to be looking to start. Because he's a threat. He's a focal point. You can play off him. You can put balls into the box. Maybe Kai Havertz is maybe looking at his spot that's up for grabs now. We'll go into who's likely to play what once the game's finished. But right at the death there, Germany have equalised. Still in this game, there's about 5.5 minutes to play. Hungary and Scotland are knocking each other out, as just said on commentary. A draw is not enough. There needs to be a goal for either team. Hungary nearly had it. They hit the post. Scotland believe they should have had the chance to score because they should have had a penalty. Referee didn't give it. Scottish fans with their hands on their heads. Maybe they might say they could have done more in this game. I think both teams would probably say that. I think both teams would probably say they should have done more in this game. We know that Hungary have had one big opportunity. Will Scotland have one big opportunity? Gunn goes long with a kick. They're on the attack here. That's going to go all the way back to Gunn in goal. Switzerland turning the screw a little bit. I mean, surely not any more drama in that one. Cleared. It's probably going to be full-time, one would think. Might be a little bit added on. And there you go. That is full-time in the game between Switzerland. Ball in! Oh, McTominay's missed! That would have been it. That would have been the one. Offside flag went up. Oh, wow. You thought that would have been the one. But again, the drama. So that's full time. Switzerland won, Germany won. That is a confirmed result. That means, as of now, the top two teams in this group, same as it was always going to be, but in this order, Germany finished top with 7 points. Switzerland are second with 5 points. Now the question is, can Hungary or Scotland get the goal that can put them into the contention of being one of the best placed third teams? And things are really as they were. Now, things look like they're going to end how they started when it comes to the group order. But my oh my, did we get a funny way of getting there. 3 minutes remain. Shankland brings it down. Puts it out wide. Morgan takes a shot, blocked. That's going to go out for a throw-in. But of course we know Germany, Switzerland, they're through. Scotland, is there any last bit of drama? Any magic? Armstrong, ball into the box, into the penalty area. Hanley, it's a great touch. It's Christie actually, brings it down. Oh, he's fizzed it in at him. It's McTominay. Blocked. Chance. Saved. Christie. Oh, what are you doing? Put it across goal, man. That was a chance. It was Grant Hanley. Look at this. Oh, it's a comfortable save. Keeper should save it. It looks like a centre-back finish, really, doesn't it? But you're saying then after the rebound, keep your composure. Get it into the box. Christie. Nope, that goes out for a throw-in. It's looking like, despite playing nearly 100 minutes of football, we're not going to get a goal in this one. And both teams, both who needed to win, needed to score a goal, are going to do neither. Unless there is any more late drama. Maybe. Shankland. There are players up there into the box. Shankland. God, he's hit it hard. I headed across goal. Hanley. It's going to be a corner. Well, they might want a penalty. They might say handball. Referee says no, it was too tight. But there is going to be a corner. Now, if you're Steve Clark, do you put the goalkeeper up? But of course, then you run the risk of, if Hungary score, they might go through. So I don't know if Angus Gunn's going to go up. Probably not. One final minute. 99 minutes have been played. Armstrong, ball in towards the back post. Oh, he got up there as well. Oh, falls to him. Oh, it's blocked. It was McGregor. And now here come Hungary on the counter-attack. Soboslai. Chobot. Oh, it's a brilliant pass. He's onside. Sholai cuts it back. Shoots. It's in. I don't believe it. Hungary have done it. Hungary have scored. This is drama. This is sport. From one Scotland corner, they've gone up to the other end of the pitch. Scotland are out. Hungary have given themselves hope. Hope for Hungary. The Scottish fans, the Tartan army, they've got their hands on their heads. You cannot make it up. It's probably the final kick of the game, and it's into the back of the net. Oh my word. The drama. The drama. That is sport. Right there. Jubilation at one end of the pitch. Oh, despair at the other end. And from a neutral's point of view, you just go, oh. And look at this. And it looked like Scotland were going to score from this corner as well. It was McGregor dispossessed. And actually, some of the passes involved in this move are fantastic. Uses a bit of strength. Look at this pass. The only question is he offside? I think he's on, the number 20. And he manages to cut it back. Look at this. Cuts it back to the penalty spot. Bang. Gets it into the bottom corner. Scotland, you're out. Hungary, you don't know. You don't know at the moment. It's no longer heartbreak for Hungary. It's hope for Hungary. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'd said before this game kicked off, I said drama. What's the word of the day? It's like Sesame Street. D is for drama. Surely not by Scotland. I mean, it doesn't matter. All they can do is knock Hungary out at this point. They're not going through. And that is full time. Scotland are out. Hungary, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if they're through. 3 points. Will that be enough? I mean, you don't know. Depends. Other teams have gone through with 3 points. But now, it's hope for Hungary. It's despair for Scotland. Scotland are out. They finished on 1 point. Same as they did 3 years ago in Euro 2020. Their only point against Switzerland, who for the majority of the evening, they led the group. They've got to prepare for the round of 16. Whether or not they're actually going to be involved in it, we shall see. Incredible. But it is, as I mentioned, despair for Scotland. Oh, what about that, guys? What about that? That is the drama. That is the drama of these final games. And that is going to be the same for all of these games that we are going to be watching together over the course of the next couple of days. Absolutely incredible. From one end of the pitch to the other. Now, Scotland, will they feel a bit hard done by? They might say they think they should add a penalty. Hungary might say, well, look, we hit the post. We were threatening too. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. How can you not love football? How can you not love sport? I mean, if there are any of your countries, you've gone through it this evening, haven't you? Whether you're Switzerland and you thought you'd top the group for the entirety and you thought you were going to have a preferable draw and then you end up just where you started off with second. If you're Germany, throughout all of the majority of the match, you're going, oh, we're going to blow it. We're now going to have a difficult draw and we're not going to go through. What's happening with this? Well, we are going to go through, but we're going to go up against maybe a more difficult team than we should do. Then you get a bit of a late goal. If you're Scotland and you're thinking, we're going to do it, that's a penalty. That should be a penalty and it's not given. And then if you're Hungary, you're like, we've got no points. We've got 0 points. We've got to get something and they get a last gasp winner. And I suppose the big point of it will still be, probably, maybe, it might not even be enough. It might not even be enough. As things stand, when it comes to the ranking of the third place teams, as things stand at the moment, there's 4 third place teams go through. At the moment, there are already 2 teams that are above Hungary as better placed third place teams. They are Austria, they are Slovakia. Of course, again, they are still yet to play. So we'll see when it comes to it. It still might not be enough. It still might not be enough. I think they probably won't get through, maybe. But again, it depends on what happens in all of these other groups. But as things stand, they are in that group of third place best teams, but there's still plenty of football to play in all of the other groups too. As far as who is going to be facing where and all that kind of stuff, Spain, they're already through. They're going to be playing on the 30th of June if the third place team from A, D, E or F. Germany, they're going to be facing the runner-up of Group C. Now, the reason why that one is significant, of course, is because Group C, I wonder who is in Group C. Well, of course, that's England. If England screw up in their final game against Slovenia and they end up second, we will be facing Germany in the round of 16. If they win that game, as they should, then we won't be facing Germany. But there is the potential to face Germany once again, just like we did 3 years ago, in the round of 16. So watch that one. Watch that one. We know that Portugal, they're already through. They're going to be facing a third team from Group A, B or C. Again, we don't know who that's going to be at the moment. We also know that Switzerland, of course, they are through, and they're going to be facing the runner-up of Group B. Now, in Group B, of course, that's tomorrow. The likelihood, one would think, is that's probably going to be Italy, maybe, as things stand right now. But a lot can still change in that group too. You're looking at Albania and Croatia as possibly looking to make some upsets tomorrow. So that one's certainly one to watch. But Switzerland, probably you would think, going to play Italy. But still, because it could be Albania, it could be Croatia. That one still can happen at the moment. But as far as England, don't finish second because you'll end up facing Germany once again. Now, of course, with all of this as well, it kind of feels a bit immaterial, doesn't it? Because, of course, the most concerning story from the evening is the health of Vargas, the Hungary player. There was a huge amount of stoppage time in that game because of the incident there. There was a lot of concern from the players, the technical staff. Obviously, the medics stretchered him off. They formed a bit of a guard around him. In addition to that, he was stretchered off with the sheets up to protect him. Fingers crossed with all that. I mean, it's always horrible scenes. I suppose the positive thing, if you can take a positive, is that you'll be very close to medical facilities and people that can legitimately help. We've seen in these kind of incidents, you don't want to speculate as to what it is. It's not appropriate to do. But there have been some positive stories coming out of it, whether it be Christian Eriksen, whether it be Tom Lockyer. So the hope is that is the case. And it's just a reminder how fleeting all of these things can be. So, again, football feels a bit immaterial, doesn't it? But nevertheless, as I mentioned, guys, What an incredible evening. What an incredible evening of sport. What an incredible evening of football. And it is just the beginning. As I mentioned, I will be live tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Flex and myself with the transfer view. We'll also have a special full view that will be dropping tomorrow too. And then I'll be back tomorrow evening once again in this very format. I'll be back once again doing simultaneous watch-alongs for both of the Group B matches, which will be Albania versus Spain and also Croatia versus Italy. They both have an 8 o'clock kickoff, so I'll be live for both of them tomorrow. Tuesday, we got a double whammy. We've got Group D's first, actually. That's at 5 o'clock. That's France versus Poland and the Netherlands versus Austria. There's some really interesting things that can happen when it comes to the positioning. In that group, many anticipate it's going to be France, Netherlands and Austria going through. Austria probably going to be the best third-place team out of anyone in this tournament. And then England, they play at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing simultaneous watch-alongs for England, Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and then of course for the rest of the games throughout the week too. So plenty to come at United View. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in this evening. This was a lot of fun, a lot of drama, and that's exactly what it's going to be. So click the like button, be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. I'm out of here. Peace.